Browns and Broncos are next. It's Monday night. Is it Monday night?
And nobody likes Brown.
Nobody likes Brown. Nobody likes Brown. The Browns have orange helmets. What are they doing? They're 3-8 going up against the Broncos, who are 7-5. Broncos favored by 5.5. That's right. Monday night football in Denver. Jameis Winston, Bo Nix. Fireworks, baby.
Jameis versus Bo Nix.
So Bo Nix trending in an outstanding direction. So let's bring some context around all this. He's a rookie.
We don't want context.
He's playing really, really well.
Yeah.
People have highlighted that maybe some of those games, best games over the last 5 weeks, Carolina,
he's rookie
Atlanta, the Raiders involved there. But he was really impressive against Kansas City. They should have beaten the Chiefs. 8 touchdowns, no picks over the last 3 weeks, just one turnover-worthy play.
That's pretty good.
Honestly, his turnover-worthy play percentage is at 1.4%.
Which is exceptional.
Which
when you consider he had 3 of them on the opening game.
Yes. So he's had 3 turnover-worthy plays since week 1.
And 3 in week 1.
I read all the YouTube comments, and I know, and we have a very good audience, which is why I like to read our YouTube comments. Most of them are good. Sometimes, we get a slightly different audience. We expand our reach a little bit. You get some different comments. But I made a comment about Nix the other day that somebody's like, what are you talking about? Like, he quieted down. He's playing great. I said he quieted his game, like his feet in the pocket. He quieted.
Calmed might have been a better word.
Calmed himself in the pocket. It is an impressive improvement in Bo Nix's game. Again, I feel like the PFF grades, the completion, whatever number you want to use, 3 of his first 4 games he graded in the 40s over the last few weeks, much more consistent. And you're just not seeing him completely whiff on wide open throws like he did the first few weeks of the season. He has been much more consistent.
Yeah.
In the simple stuff over the last few weeks.
I described his game. He was playing at this frenetic level earlier in the season where he was playing a lot like Justin Fields plays the game, which is like this panicked, quick, I got one read and then I'm out of here and I'm trying to make plays with my legs and scrambling. And he was so quick to bail on the play and just try and be an athlete out there and make it happen. And he has completely settled down in half a season, essentially. Like, I hate to give Walt credit in the chat because he very rarely says anything of use or consequence but he said that Bo Nix comp right now is Rich Gannon. I think that's not bad.
Stylistic.
Friend of the show, Rich Gannon. Yeah, stylistic. But he is he's playing like Rich Gannon at this stage. He's accelerated Rich Gannon's career arc into like a 2/3 of a season. But now we are seeing this, efficient, high volume passing quarterback who's also athletic to make plays. But is playing way more within structure. And he's got the perfect complement to that in a coach in Sean Payton who knows exactly how to make that type of quarterback work. The reason it wasn't working earlier on is Nix wasn't playing like that. He was playing like Justin Fields, and that's not going to work within a Sean Payton offense. Now, whether it's that classic cliche of the game slowed down for him, whatever it is, he has calmed down. He has settled down. He's much more poised. And now you're seeing what Sean Payton can bring to an offense with his play calling.
Yeah, I've mentioned that the last couple of weeks. It feels like Sean Payton, a little bit more creative, moving people around, and it's working, right? They've had a slew of receivers come in and out of there since Sean Payton took over. I mean, they really have. It's been Courtland Sutton and a whole bunch of different receivers as far as, Jerry Judy and Vele and Marvin Mims and Troy Franklin and all these guys that they've tried over there. And it feels like they're slotting into their roles. We've highlighted Marvin Mims being a guy that they're moving around, putting him into the backfield. They're going to hit him wide open on, busted coverage wheel routes. And look, the Browns bust coverages.
Yeah.
So now you have Sean Payton, who's in his bag over the last few weeks against Cleveland, who's going to make it tougher. I will say Cleveland down to down, I think is going to make it much more difficult than Atlanta, than Vegas, than Carolina a few weeks ago. They will. But we highlight every week there are going to be some open plays against this Cleveland secondary as well.
It's a really interesting defense at Cleveland because it's extremely good overall. Like, they have incredible playmakers. Myles Garrett is a dominant force. Denzel Ward is a high-end corner. Like, they've got some amazing players, but they're massively high leverage. Like, they're going to really pressure you. And then if you can make plays against that pressure, there are going to be plays there to be had. And we saw that even in the snow against Pittsburgh. Like, they were absolutely wrecking Pittsburgh in that game. And yet all it takes is a couple of shots to George Pickens or to Calvin Austin, and you can change the whole dynamic of that game very quickly. So it's going to be similar, right? You're going to get this sort of overall level where Bo Nix is going to have a lot of pressure in his face. He's going to have a lot of high difficulty plays, but if he can execute, there will be plays there to be made.
On the other hand, we have primetime Jameis Winston. So we've got Monday Night Football. Jameis, the Monday Night Football crew, they're going to be like, we need a pregame interview with Jameis Winston. All I want to know, Sam, if you could, maybe you might have an opinion on this.
Yeah.
Which of the 66 books of the Bible will Jameis quote on Monday Night Football?
Jameis feels like a Proverbs kind of man to me.
Proverbs, right?
Yeah.
There'd probably be some Proverbs in there.
Right.
Let's see if we can pull something in here.
Live. Let's see if we could dial
He's
up
gonna.
a
He's
proverb.
just gonna look at the camera and he's gonna go, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding."
Because a dub is coming down the pipeline.
Because tonight we're eating dubs.
Right.
Yeah. So that's my pregame prediction for Jameis. We'll say I think you're right. He's gonna pull something from Proverbs in prime time for America to see. I just can't wait for the pregame speech for Jameis.
Yeah.
And then the postgame speech. Who knows? He can pull from anywhere.
Right.
Depends on how the game goes.
Could go anywhere.
Where the sermon goes. But primetime Jameis, coming off of the Winter Wonderland win against the Steelers in Denver. Do we have snow? Do we have snow potentially in Denver? Can we get a weather report here in Denver? So yeah, that's gonna be fun against a really tough Denver defense, a pressure. A team that's creating pressure. We mentioned every week about all the different players that are creating pressure in a Cleveland offensive line that's battled injuries and just poor play throughout the year. So I think the volatility of Jameis Winston, I think, is on display as much in this game as anywhere else because he'll be under pressure, right? He'll be under pressure and still trying to throw the ball down the field. And honestly, like the results of those plays could end up determining this game, whether or not the pressure plays end up being turnover-worthy plays or hitting Jerry Judy in stride in a Judy revenge game here.
In a Jerry Judy revenge game. He's genuinely, over the last few weeks even, forget the general move, but Jerry Judy in the last few weeks has really kicked on and started to look more like Alabama Jerry Judy. The last few weeks have been the first sighting of Bryce Young, Alabama Bryce Young. Like he looks like the guy he did at Bama. Finally, we're seeing some of those plays. Same thing for Jerry Judy, except it's been years since he was at Alabama. Like you're finally seeing plays that remind you of Alabama Jerry Judy. Catch and runs, impressive route running stuff where he's open, makes the play. I was so impressed by him against Pittsburgh because that's the type of game where if he'd come out of that like with some open plays and 3 drops, you'd have been like, yeah, that makes sense. Instead, he was like, I'm going to make every one of these catches. Tough catches, high leverage situations, key first downs. He's been really impressive recently.
All right, man. 5.5 for Denver. I think we're going to see a great game on Monday Night Football. I'm looking forward to it. Who you got?
Who do I got? I got Denver.
Who did Harry take?
No snow in this game.
I'm going to take
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
Weather report.
No, man. Jameis undefeated in snow games in his career. That would have been great. I'll take Cleveland. I think Jameis is just gonna do something special in prime time. Harry's going to take Denver to cover the 5.5. I think Cleveland can at least keep it close, even within a field goal. So,
Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.